Alright, Shalom. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Alright, and I wanted to get into a topic here that I must admit that, it's a fact of this truth going into, in fact, let me premise this particular sit down with the scriptures, starting off in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And I've got here my the scriptures in my hands right here. Some of the scriptures I might pull up on the screen. Some of them I just might just get them right quick right here in my Bible right here. So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and the 30th verse. In fact, let's start from the 28th verse. It says, "Behold, in a horrible vision, right, and the appearance thereof from the east." It says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with their many chariots," right, talking about their tanks, right, their war vehicles, in other words, right. It says, "And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they, right, which hear them may fear and tremble." Right, now this is the point I was getting at here, and it's going to be relevant to this lesson. Hopefully the point is carried across now. It says, "Also the Carmanians," the 30th verse, "also the Carmanians raging in the wrath shall go forth as a wild boar, right, of the wood, and with great power." It says, and shall come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria." All right. Now there's two things to take away from there. Right. The land of Assyria is synonymous with the land of America. All right. The land of Assyria, the land of America is also within the scriptures. Right. And it's just talking about wasting a portion. There's a prophecy right here talking about wasting a portion of the land of Assyria. All right. Now those Carmanians, when you go into their history, Carmanians is actually talking about the Russian, not the Russians, Salakia, the Iranians. I didn't plan for this, so but just to illustrate a point, put Carmanians within. Is that going to take me to Google? No, it's not going to take me to Google. Go to Google and search it just to illustrate a point. So Google. And I believe I brought this out on a previous lesson that I did before, showing you that the Carmanians were. I didn't go into the history or anything. I'm going by what I've learned. But I believe I searched it out, and I found it out to be the case that the Carmanians, right, are the Persians, right, which are the Iranians, right. So it says here, Carmania, ancient Greek, from Old Persian of the same. Right, it says a satrapy province of the Achaemenid Empire. So that's telling you right there, right, that the Carmania, right, was old Persia of the same. Right, let me see if I can get it in another one. Right, let's see if I can get it elsewhere. See, but the point there, I mean, you're getting some people here that, also, it looks like they're trying to break it down. So, that shows you the validity of the Apocrypha, because seeing topical, the same topic I'm basically breaking down here, man, is what people is what people have been trying to break down. Now, let me see what this says. Like I said, I didn't plan for this, so it is what it is. It says Carmania, region east of Fars province, approximately equivalent to the modern day Kaman. The old Persian form is attested only once in inscription. Right. Let's see what else it says. Right, it says Carmania, region of eastern Fars province, approximately equivalent to the modern day Kerman. Right, the old Persian form rendered as Elamite. All right. Does it say anything else? All right, let's see. What else we get for Kerman. Within the Google search. See what that says. All right. This is in the Wikipedia. This is Kerman. It says also known as Kermania. Right. It says the capital city of Kerman province, Iran. Right. So hey man, I had to go around about some roundabout way to get that information. But you know what? Sometimes it's worth the effort to come, to prove what you've been taught is correct. Sometimes, no, that's not. That's an incorrect statement, Salaki. Right? Sometimes it's the scripture says, "Let every man be persuaded in his own mind." So this is my attempt of persuading you, man, telling you that the elders are 100% on point and they got it right on point. And what we're gonna see is further proof of just how 100, right? These men of the Lord are, man. Right, going back to the prophecies that they put forth through the scriptures, right? Because it's the same people coming back. That's told we see that in the book of Jeremiah, where it talks about the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So the prophets coming back through reincarnation, just doing the same thing, man. Telling you that America and Iran's gonna get to war. Now, here's the thing I've never really sat down and thought about is the fact that how this war was gonna be, how this war was gonna come about. Because right now the hot topic which I've been harping on for the longest, and I'll continue hopefully to harper on that topic, lest the spirit take me another way. Right, we get into something else and get into another topic, but certainly something that shouldn't really be put on the back burner and is still there and it's heating up. It's this thing with Russia and America. However, the main prophecy is that America will invade Iran. Not so much invade Iran, but certainly to go to war with Iran. Right now, how it was going to come about, I was always a bit curious. And I was a bit unsure about it. But, within the scriptures, the answers is always there. And there's a scripture, which hopefully I'll search for it in the background and I'll find it. Right? Where it talks about the least of them shall draw them out. Talking about the so-called Jews. Because the so-called Jews really occupy a small portion of the land, as it were. There's really a land of that magnitude is supposed to play a smaller role on the grand scheme of things, right? But that's why the prophecy also says the least of them shall draw them out. Let me quickly see if I can find it here in the background. The least of them, right? Right, I can't quite find it, but I certainly believe I certainly believe I've come across it, right? And it's basically speaking about them so-called Jews drawing you people out, man, drawing you out to war, right? And they're gonna draw you out to war with the Iranians. And when the time comes, the Iranians will get them. The Iranians is going to get them Russians involved, man. All right. Just give it one quick last search right here in the background, right? There we go, Jeremiah, the 49th chapter on the 21st. Now this one I'll get up on the screen. Right, so now we found out that Kerman, right, is the capital city of Iran. And I'll read that prophecy again now, and you will understand what it's talking about and become clear as daylight. All right, it's Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. and I believe it was 28th verse that I mentioned. It says, "Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken up against Edom, and his purpose he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman." All right, which Teman, if I'm not mistaken, in fact, I can get the Bible dictionary. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's Teman was the capital city of Esau's land. Right? It says, "Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." All right. So the least of them so-called Jews. All right, the least of the flock, because they're the base, they're the scumbags of the earth, man. They're the worst people, man. Those are the worst people ever, man. All right, those are the worst people ever, man. You got accounts of babies being circumcised by so-called Jewish rabbis using their teeth and all that kind of shit, man. But they got kosher pig up in the land of Israel and all of that, man. And on top of that, man, they're the ones that are taking away the heritage of. They're the ones that have taken our heritage, man. Going back into Jeremiah the 17th chapter and the 9th verse, where it talks about their heritage. Where it talks about thou shalt discontinue from thine heritage. All right, and just because they first and foremost they found out who we were, right? They wanted a religion to follow, so they chose Judaism. All right. Found out that we was in a bad case with the Mosai, right? And the Mosai put their spirit on them, right? So that they pretend to be us, man, right? And that's the worst people. That's the worst people to do that, man. To pretend you're something else is out. That's how much of a scumbag you are. You have to pretend you're something else. But then the Mosai said, "Hey, the least of the flock shall draw them out." Let me just read this one quick precept once again, and then I'll hit a few points on these articles that I have here in the background. Right, so getting back into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Right, it says here, also, and I'm going to change the word Carmanians now to the capital city of Iran. So it says, "Also, the capital city of Iran, raging in their wrath, shall go forth as a wild boar of the woods with great power, and shall come and join battle with them." With who? Right, with the Russians, because as you're going to see here, man, the Russians and the Iranian sign a defense deal. May resolve S-3000 missile delivery issue. Right? I don't know what the S-3000 missile is, but if it's a headline, man, I guess if it's of some importance. All right? It says, and shall waste a portion of the land of Assyria. Right? When you go into the scriptures, right? Assyria is talking about America, man. Right? Now this is a small article. I'm not going to get too much of it. Right, it says Russia, Iran signed defense deal may resolve S-300 missile delivery issue. It says Moscow and Tehran, right, of which when we went into this, I believe it was on the other one, right. Right here, what does it say? It says capital city of Kerman province. All right, Iran. Right, which I believe Tehran. All right, here we go. All right, saying it's about, just quickly flicking through it, says it might be about 1,000 kilometers from Tehran or whatever, right? But saying here, right, Moscow and Tehran have signed a military cooperation deal that implies wider collaboration in personnel training and counter-terrorism activities. Right now, where's the terrorism out there in Russia and Iran, man? What terrorism are they talking about? Who's infiltrated the Russian borders or the Iranian borders to conduct terrorist attacks, man? Right? Ain't nobody did that except for the Americans. So it's really telling you there, man, that the American Edomite is the real terrorist, right? That's the real terrorist. That's the man that brings terrors upon the face of the earth, man. That's why the scripture says the devil's gonna come down having great wrath. Why? Because he's the terror. He's the real terrorist, man. Right? It says collaborating in personal training and counter-terrorism activities. It may also resolve the situation concerning the delivery of the S-300 missiles. Iranian media report. All right. Now I just wanted to bring that out to illustrate the 2 points about Russia and Iran being involved in military deals and all of that. And if you make military deals with people, man, you gotta expect it that when war breaks out, they're gonna back it, right? Now this article is slightly older than this one. I believe this one was issued. Just a day ago, in fact, on the 20th of January 2015. This one's a little older. This is going back about 3 years now. January, nearly exactly 3 years ago. But this is in January 30th, 2012. All right. They're saying war in Iran would mean World War III. All right. That's fitting because you can see who's Iran's main backer. All right. It's the Russians right here, man. Right. Going back exactly to fulfill prophecy. Right, it says military build-up and economic sanctions against Iran are designed to unleash a global war from the Mediterranean to China, which with unpredictable consequences. Now that's important, right? Because those unpredictable consequences are not really predictable. They've already been said, man. Right? Going into the book of let's flip this back to the blue letter and go to the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter. Is it 24? I believe it's 24. Right? And this is what to those are the hear what it says right here, right? With unpredictable consequences. Here's the consequences of you so-called white people's actions, man. Right, mainly against the apple of the Most High's eye, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Right, it says, "Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, right? He maketh it waste, and he turneth it upside down. He scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof." It says, "It shall be, right, as with the people, so with the priest, right, as with the servant, so his masters." And it says, "As with the maid, so with a mistress," right? I'm going to just jump down to a few key points, right? It says, "The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken this word." It says, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away." It says, "The earth is defiled underneath the inhabitants thereof," right? Jump to some other points. It says here, "The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man can come in." All right? Here in the 12th verse it says, "In the city is left desolation, the gates smitten with destruction." Right? Where is the one? It says here, "The earth shall utterly be broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved," like what it says in the book of 2 Peter's the 3rd chapter. Man, it talks about the elements dissolving and all that. It says here, "The earth is moved exceedingly." It says, "The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall, and shall not rise again." Now, is that talking about the earth as in the earth itself? No, because I'll go against the scriptures where it talks about the earth shall abide forever. That's talking about your earth, the world as you know it now, man. Right? Where women can say whatever they want to say against men. Right, which is completely out of order. Because when you read the scriptures, man, what does the scripture say? Let the man be the head of the house, right? And the Lord is the head of the man. And you know what? That's a beautiful order that where with love, so-called love, which love really goes back into when we go into 1 John 2 and 20. Love goes into the following of the Most High's law, man. If I can remember off the top, this is love. That we walk after his commandments. This is the commandments that you heard from the beginning, man. That's real love, man. Not equality or any kind of shit like that, man. Right? If you love them all, you say you love a dude and all that, man. You should be falling in line, man. Right? Because love is the fulfilling of the commandments of the Most High, man. Right? And the Most High commanded that a woman shall compass a man. Right? But you got these women out here that don't even don't know how to cook. Don't know how to look after themselves, but they're on an equal plane with a man. All that, man. Right? It says, tensions between Iran and the West are close to crisis levels. This is going back in 3 years ago. It says, with massive help from Western media, Iran has firmly embedded, has become embedded as a root of evil in the minds of many Westerners. And that's the same thing they're doing with Russia right now, man. Right? But see what's going on in the background, going back to the scripture where it talks about the least of the flock shall draw them out, man. Got this thing happening with America and Russia, but Netanyahu he's been known to be unstable, man. He could just invade Iran on short notice, man. You'll never know about it. He could just say, it could be, oh, Iran's, they want to do it. Hey, you could go back to this deal that they're doing right here, man. Right? Netanyahu might see this deal, which happened a day ago. He might see this deal as a sign of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. Like a chess move being played, so he has to up the ante, man. It has to up the stakes, all right? And that will lead you right back into here, where it says here, man, it will end up into a World War III with unpredictable consequences, all right? It says here, tensions between Iran and the West are close to crisis level with massive help from the Western media, right? The Western media is controlled by them so-called Jews. It says Iran has firmly become embedded as the root of evil in the minds of the Western, many Westerns. It says, author of the book Towards a World War III Scenario, Dangers of Nuclear War, told RT that the issue of Iran's nuclear weapons is a red herring, right? But this red herring could lead us into World War III scenario, and that's something they ain't really been talking about too tough, man. But you really think that the president of Iran right now ain't thinking about getting them not only just nuclear weapons but nuclear power all up in there, right? Nuclear power stations so he can run his own business, right? But see, these so-called Jews, Netanyahu and his goy